Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And today I'm using my Housewives Tarot. Okay, so I'm going to draw one card to represent each section of the week, and I just want to get a bit of an idea as to the upcoming energies and how we can best manage them and take advantage of them. Okay, so we'll start with the first card, and the first card represents Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And here we have Two of Pentacles. So we're starting off the week with, well, I think of the Two of Pentacles as, juggling different tasks, being, fairly busy, having a lot on your plate, having a lot to do, and there's this need to, not so much balance, because you already know that things are not going to be balanced, but there's this need to kind of, juggle things, rotate things, multitask. So we're starting off the week, we've got lots to do, and, you're a good multitasker. You know how to multitask well. So there's going to be a lot of that going on this week. And I'm going to come back to this card because I think there's something else I want to say about it. But first I want to move on to the middle of the week. And this card, the Queen of Cups, represents Wednesday and Thursday of the upcoming week. And then as we finish off the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got Three of Swords. For some reason I just wanted to look at all the cards together. Okay, so as we move into the week, we've got Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups, I like this particular version of her. She looks like she's having some whiskey or something. But the Queen of Cups is very, very intuitive, and she's really good at, she's a very calm kind of figure. Kind of a mother-like sort of figure. And when she shows up in readings, it's to remind you to relax. And it's to remind you that, you have that ability to be calm, to be relaxed, and to be emotional, and to be tapped into your emotions. And she comes up to basically encourage you to kind of channel those qualities that she represents. And she's a very, very positive sign. I feel like actually when the Queen of Cups comes up in a reading, I feel like she's saying, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to work out. You're going to be able to get what you want, or, get through anything. So I feel like she's a very positive card, and I feel like she, next to the Two of Pentacles, which is all about, kind of balance and juggling things, she's there to kind of remind you to be kind of serene, take a minute to catch your breath, and just be very calm, yet be able to sort of tap into your emotions and feelings, because it's your feelings and your intuition that's going to guide you this week. And the more tapped in to those feelings and emotions you are, the smoother things are going to go for you. And the more interesting your week is going to be as well. And then as you move over to the end of the week, we've got Three of Swords. And Three of Swords, like, traditionally can represent heartbreak and feeling, excuse me, feeling, not necessarily betrayed, but yeah, feeling betrayed and disappointed in a loved one. So that's kind of the traditional meaning. The meaning that I like to give this card, and the meaning that I'm going to give this card, is the Three of Swords represents the clarity that suddenly comes to us when we see the truth of a situation. And sometimes when we see the truth of a situation, we realize that other players, other people in our lives, maybe don't feel the same way as we do. They might not share our feelings. They might feel something different that we might deem, unacceptable to us. And that can hurt when we see a situation that's really, really clear. And how much that hurts depends on how kind of deluded we were in the first place. So if we had this totally, you know, totally fabricated view of things that we sort of created for ourselves, and then we realize none of that is true, that can be kind of almost traumatizing and kind of shocking. It's jarring. But I feel like it's come up this week because I think we sort of need that clarity, and we need that reality. It's hard to, I think it's hard to be at peace and to be, you know, to move forward with things. It's hard to be peaceful if we're totally deluded. So peace isn't about, you know, deluding ourselves or telling ourselves a happy story. It's about being able to look at our lives and look at situations with clarity and truth, and be okay with it, even if that truth or that clarity unveils things that we don't like. And that's kind of what being able to be peaceful is all about. So I hope that kind of made some sense. Again, I feel like it's kind of come up for us because I think many of us watching are ready to kind of see the truth of our lives, and this is something that isn't gonna, I mean, this is a minor arcana card, so this isn't something that's gonna feel totally traumatizing like, you know, the Tower. The Tower actually in a lot of ways is kind of like the Three of Swords on a much stronger, bigger, more intense level. But the theme of this week is that we're ready for clarity, we're ready for truth. You know, we no longer want to delude ourselves. And the Queen of Cups is going to help us get there. Again, I said she's, you know, very calm, she's serene, but she's also very much in tune with her emotions, her feelings, her intuition, and she's very she has a lot of empathy for others, and that's how she connects with others, is on that emotional level, on understanding and seeing how they feel about things, and being able to feel that herself. So she has this really strong ability to empathize with others. She has a lot of empathy. And so again, I think this week, the more you can channel that part of yourself who has a lot of empathy, who's, you know, calm, serene, but yet still feels quite deeply, that's going to really help you navigate this, you know, the clarity and the opening of your eyes that's going to be happening this week. And then coming back to the Two of Pentacles, because I said I was going to come back to this one, I feel like this just represents kind of the minutiae of everyday life. So, you know, juggling chores and other people's demands, and just the everyday, you know, stuff that we deal with. That's always kind of going on in the background. Even when we go through some big spiritual changes where we're opening our eyes, we're seeing things clearly, we're no longer deluded anymore, and we're kind of moving out of the fog. I feel like that's actually kind of the theme this week. We're sort of moving out of the fog. So if you felt like you've been in a fog lately, the fog is lifting and you're kind of moving out of it. That's kind of the task for this week. But there's always going to be stuff going on in the background, so don't think you have to wait for your life not to be busy in order to do real spiritual work, or to be able to focus on yourself or anything like that, because that stuff's always kind of happening in the background, always distracting you and kind of threatening to pull your attention away from whatever you deem to be more important. So that's just kind of there. But all in all, it looks like a really an interesting week, and I'm kind of excited to see how things pan out. So I want to wish you the best of luck this week. My name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and please feel free to share your own insights and your own ideas on these cards in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.